Okay. So, what was the last thing we just said? That
It's a Christian group that
oh yeah,
pronounces the name.
there is a non-Jewish group that calls themselves the Witnesses. So the name in front of Witnesses, that's an attempt to pronounce Yud K Vav K. It apparently is not the correct pronunciation, but um,
Well, it would be with changing the J to a Y because they're
yeah,
from
even
Germany.
okay,
Germany, the
even with the J, even if it were a Y,
a
it
Y.
depends on with the voweling. The voweling is maybe
Well, you see the vowels in the Chumash.
right.
Yeah.
No, it is one attempt. Okay, I don't know if that's the correct pronunciation. I don't believe it is. Anyway, the point is that that's what it means. So that is one idea behind his God will be one and his name will be one. Okay. V'omar sheyiroimeim gam lelukim b'chinas koyach ha'eluki ba'oilamos l'maylo. And what David is saying is that he wants to exalt even this Elohim, which is this divine life force that's within the worlds, liyos bevechinas hamelech, that it should be higher and higher to be at the level of king, shenikra melech meroimam levadai, to be called the only exalted king. V'hu yichud memale kol almin b'soiviv kol almin. And that idea is that he wants to unify the what we called the permeating or internalizable light with the encompassing transcendent light. V'zehu inyan yachid chei ha'olamim melech. And this is also the idea that we say in, was this Yishtabach or in Baruch Shamar? I think one of those. In Baruch Shamar, that that the only one, the life of the world's king, meaning Yachid Kimosha Hu Levado Yisborich, that he's unique, he's the only one. There's not no one else that he's alone like that. That he's blessed. The Yechido Ilo or the Atzilus in that supernal unity, the higher level of unity of Atzilus, the Iu v'Chayu Ichad Mamish, where he and his energies or causations, lights are not causations. He and his light is his radiances are totally united. V'nikra Chei ha'olamim, and then he becomes called the life of the worlds. B'ispashtus demidas melech lios melech la'olam, and that through spreading out this attribute of being king, that he becomes king of the world, al yedei tzimtzum kanal, through a something that in Kabbalah is called tzimtzum, which means can mean a couple of things, but a diminishment and a contraction that like basically a withdrawal or very much diminishing the light that can come through. V'zehu ha'oira nimshach milmayla l'mato. And this is the light that gets transmitted from above down to below. Ukimei b'dalid rabbosi, with like this big letter dalid, shemekhavin lahamlicha b'shemayim ba'aretz v'dalid ruchos ha'olam, which is intended to, the idea behind it is that we want to make him rule in the heavens and the earth and the dalid four directions of the compass. And so too sometimes we say Melech Yochid. He's the only king. Shenikra Melech Meroimam Levadai, that he is called the exalted king alone, nimshach liyos chei ha'olamim, that should be transmitted and drawn down to become the life of the worlds. Ukemoi kain hu b'vchinas halo milamata l'mayla. So everything up to here, we were talking about going from above down to below. Now it's also, we have the same kind of thing going from below to above, elevation from below to above. Shiraymeim le'elikai hamelech, that he should be exalted.
Like God, the king should be exalted.
Um, as king, the way just as he is the sole unique king alone, that he should be transmitted down, it should be drawn down below afterwards, the way he is in his essence, gamba oilamos, also into the worlds. And this is what it means when David says, I will bless your name forever and ever. So that's the end of that pasuk. And this is like the idea of may the name of the glory of his kingdom be blessed or drawn down forever and ever. Kayedua, as is known, shebechinas hamalchus nikra shem, because this level of kingship is also called name. Kimoiviyas David shem, David made a name. V'yisborech shem kavod malchusoi, and may this name of the glory of his kingdom be yisborech, drawn down, lumato gamba oilam, even into these worlds of separation, these separated worlds, b'vchinas nitzchius, in a way of permanence, the ein soif, without end. V'zehu vo'ed, and that is what the word vo'ed means at the end of Baruch Shem Kavod Malchusay Le'olam vo'ed. Nitzchius, permanence, bechiluf oisios de'echod, which is actually, the word vo'ed is a transposition of the word echod. And the way this is done is that there are certain letters that can be switched because they're from the same organ of speech. So the aleph and the vav are both, I guess, breath letters, and the ches and the ayin are guttural letters, and both of them have a dalet. And how are we supposed to exalt God, my King? Through songs and praises. That we say how all of the worlds and the angels are totally nothing, nullified out of existence. Basically, don't have they're basically essentially nothing, from something to nothing. Through it, how does that happen? They don't have separate egos. Their egos disappear through how? Al yedei shir verina, through song and praise. Shal yedei ze mailim lebechinas malchus lemaila. So through this we raise up malchus up above. Lekabel mibechinas keser malchus, so that it can then receive from what's called keser malchus. V'zeu keser yitnu l'cha, and this is what we say in Kedusha when we say keser yitnu l'cha, they will give a crown to you. So that is actually specifically in Sfard and Chabad Nusach, but not in the Ashkenazi Nusach. They don't do keser. Um, V'zehu meshubach umfoyar b'lashoin chasidov, and this is also what we say. He's praised and glorified in with the tongue of his Hasidim, the Avodov, and his servants. Neshames umalochim. Who are these Hasidim and servants? These are souls and angels of the Bria Yetzira Asiya in the lower worlds of Bria Yetzira and Asiya, Ubeshire David Avdecha, and with the songs of David your servant, Nehalelcha, we will praise you. So this is all part of this is this all Baruch Shamar still, I think. Yeah. Um, um, where was I? Lias Yochid Cheyu Lomi Melech Gam Lamata Kamei Lamaila that he Meshubach Upoyer Adiyad. Huh?
Licha Malkeno the Elokeno the Yos Yahid
Yeah. And all the way to Vinam Licha Malkenu Elokenu. Let us coronate you, our king, our God, Lios Yochid Chei Ha'ilami Melech, to be the unique life of all worlds king, Gam Lamata, even down here, Kamoi Lamaila, like you are up there. Lios Meshubach Mfoyar Adiyad, that you should be praised and glorified forever and ever, Bivchinas Nitzchius, in a way of permanency, the Ein Soif, without limit, without end. Shehu Malchus the Ein Soif. This is the Malchus of the Infinite One, Atzmoi himself. Shenikra Shmoi Hagadol Kayadu, which is called his great name. So all of this is basically an a way to read and understand what we Baruch Shamar. Okay. V'zehu laheidia livnei adam, and this is all to inform mankind, shehein and neshames, which are souls, gvuroisav, about God's might. So gvura is sometimes translated might. That's the usual translation, but it's also more literally severity or discipline or limitation. Yeah, bechinas ribui hakoyach, meaning, and that boxing things in to limiting things enables there to be multiple different things. So bechinas ribui hakoyach shalatzimtzumim, to have all this multitude of the power of all of the contractions, kedei lios hadar kved malchusoi ha'atzmiyos, so that there should be the glory of the honor of his kingdom. This is in an essential way, but in the worlds, le'ain shir, with no limit, lamata, all the way down, kimoisha ein shir lamaila, like he is king up there without limit. Beis nasus, in his exaltedness, shemitzad atzmei mamish, that is on that is all just for the way he is. That makes him totally the boss over everything upstairs in an automatic way. And our praises are that his dominion should be revealed down here the way it is upstairs. Uraya so a proof that the source of the worlds is actually his the exalted divine essence. Humasha mispashit gam b'koyach ha'eloki hamatzumtzam liyos moker lihis avis ha'olamais gam kein b'vchinas hischalkus le'ein shir klal u'klal. Is that he spreads out, there spreads out even with this godly power through contraction that he becomes, which becomes the source for the existification of all the worlds in a way of division without limit at all. Our Lord is great and with multiple, or he says immense here, but power without any limit.
The heavenly world is without limit, but this world is finite.
Yes.
So,
Well, even when you say the heavenly world is without limit, there are different levels of worlds, and each of them, compared to higher, they're limited. But compared to lower, they're not subject to the same limitation. So it's a relative kind of thing in terms of this hierarchical limitations that there are. Ukemesha kosu b'Sefer Yetzirah, as it writes in Sefer Yetzirah, which I believe is supposed to be the work of Avram Avinu. The shiur koima shel Yotze Bereshis reish lamed vav ribeves alofim parsoyes. How big is Hashem? How big is, meaning the whatever the power is that forms the creation? 236 ten thousands of thousands. So let's do that. That would be 23. No, no, no. I believe that's 2.36 billion. Uh, yeah. Yeah, 2.36 billion parses. Okay. Where did we get this number from? It's the gematria de Rav Koyach. When you take the word Rav Koyach, of immense power, that is 236. Kimesha kosu biyura b'mokum acher is explained elsewhere. Okay, ukimesha kosu ve'alomois ein mispar, maidens without number. Al tikrei alomois, don't read it as maidens, elo oilamos, worlds. Uksiv hayesh mispar ligdudov, is there any number to his hosts, meaning that his hosts are innumerable. And even though it does say that he brings out his hosts in by number, hein hein gvuroisov, which implies that there is a limit. This is part of his limiting power. Litzamtzim, to constrict things in the way that they come down here. V'im kol zeh ein shiur lispashtu zu. But with all this, there is no measure, no limit to this spread of his dominion. K'moshe kosu b'sefer Yetzirah, as it says in Sefer Yetzirah, Hey avonim boines kuf kof batim, that 5 stones build 120 houses. Anybody know what the math is behind this?
well, probably
So if you took some probability and statistics, you would know.
I think it's like 4 with the explanation after it.
Very good. Factorial. It's 5 factorial. which means basically if I have five things, how many different ways can I arrange them?
Well, it's one
I can
times
have got
two times three times four times five.
exactly. That's right. Okay, so so in other words, I have five choices for whatever goes in the first position. Now that I used that one, now I have four things left that I can choose for the second position, and so on. And so by multiplying all the possibilities, it becomes 120. Okay. Um,
So Rufim, the same Elohim. So Rufim is the permutations.
exactly.
Yeah.
Tzirufim D'Shem Elokim. There are 120 um, permutations of the name Elokim because it has five letters. Mikan ve'elach tzevach shoiv ad ein shir. So from here, um, you could try to calculate how what kind of limits there are. Oh, do you only have five letters? How many letters do we have? We have 22 letters. How big could you make the words? As big as you want.
It's 22
And you can
plus
even
the
repeat
10
them.
spheros.
32. Okay.
Yeah.
This explanation is written elsewhere. But all of this is all to inform people of Hashem's immense power. And then after that, we say that your kingship is the kingship over all worlds. V'dai lemevi. And that should suffice for those of us who could understand anything. Anyway, so v'zeu masha kosu b'zoyar al posuk elikim al domilah. And this is why the Zohar writes on the pasuk, God, don't be silent. The nehira tato koritadir lenehira ilah. So now we're getting back to what we're talking about in our mimer, that the lower flame calls out constantly to the upper flame, the dark flame to the radiant flame. V'loi shochich la'almin, and it never rests. And this is what is written in order to sing to you the kavod, the lower glory, the malchus of malchus in the world's bria yitzir nasiya lekavod elyon, that should sing to the upper glory, the Bechinas Keser Malchus Canal, which is the crown of Malchus of Atzilus, as we mentioned above. Okay, so with this we finished uh, the fourth chapter, which is a lot more abstract than what we've done before. But let's see what time is it now?
6:39, 6:40.
Okay, so we'll try to go a little further into the fifth chapter. Okay, v'hine kasher adam yizboinin be'emek daite v'libe b'vchinas yikudat atah de malchus ba'elameis b'chinas mamalekol almin.
Don't rush, Mr. Dukes.
Sorry.
Please.
So when a
He has a
person
class at
thinks,
7 o'clock.
Huh?
He has a class at 7
yeah, it's okay, it's okay. So I'll slow down. So when a person thinks deeply with his mind and his heart into this lower unity of malchus in the worlds, in the way of mamalekol almin, in the way that the light that permeates or it gets internalized within the things that it comes into. Shehu b'koyach ha'oir ha'eluki ha'mahave kol ha'olam es me'ayin leyesh kanal, which is through the energy of this godly light that existifies all worlds from nothing to something. As we said earlier when we were explaining Baruch Shem Kved Malchusay Leilam Voed. So when a person thinks into this, Yispoil beliboy be'avo elukis, he will get excited in his heart with godly love, lehoives havaya, to love God, b'chol levavoy, with all his heart, v'hainu bishnei yitzarecho, meaning with both his godly inclination and his animal his inclination. Kimoisha Kosov, V'ohavta b'chol levavcha, as it said, we have in the pasuk, right, what we say right after Shema, it says, "Love God with all your heart," and the word for your heart is written with two vases, one representing your Yetzer Tov, and the other your Yetzer Hara, your godly your inclination and your animal inclination, that you're getting them both to love God. And how does that happen? V'hu shal yedei hasoga elokis hazois, that through this godly comprehension, hanikletes heitev b'moyach b'leiv, which has been becomes absorbed well in his mind and his heart, yispoil gam b'leiv basar hativi. This is going to have an impact even on your natural fleshly heart. You'll get excited in your physical heart. Liyos boy kiloyin, that you will have a longing, utshuka nifloa, berish be'esh, an amazing uh, pull with flames of fire, shalheves yudke, with a godly fire, ad sheyimas v'yapech kol rotzin zar v'ra dechem TV, to such an extent that you'll despise and want to and transform whatever strange want or even bad wants of your natural heatedness, your passions, they transform them. That you will have only one heart to love your father for your father in heaven. Just as the soul itself, the godly soul itself, longs for is it has passion for godliness, the opposite of the nature of the coarse body, which is called ruach habehemo, the spirit of the animal, sheyeredis lamato, which descends below. Behis pailus amitis mikerev v'leiv amok mikol choiches hanefesh hativis. So, with this excitement, true excitement and enthusiasm from the depths of his heart, with all of his soul power, natural soul powers. Lefi she's binding his eyes the kiyach eloki ba'olamais, and why this happens is because this meditation about the godly power in the worlds, kroivol nefesh adam, is something which is close to a person's soul. Lira is gam be'ene basar, to that something that he can practically see with his physical eyes. Kimesh nemar su mora meinechem uru mi bora ele. So the word Shema is the Rosh Tevis for the first three words in this verse. Raise your eyes heavenward and see who created these. Perush, meaning see, just like you see something with your physical eyes. To such an extent that you can have a total transformation of your strange wants. Dahainu lies mishapchim beispailus rishpe esha chuka lavai lavadu. That meaning that they become, huh?
If you can finish it, 9 minutes, that would be great.
Okay, transformed into with excitement and passion of flames of fire of longing for God alone. So it comes out that when you do this, your natural heatedness and passion, which might be full of bad things, becomes transformed entirely to godly holiness. V'nikra bar levov, and then he becomes called pure of heart mamish. Asher loy noso lashov nafshoy, that he does not turn his soul to vain things, to stupidities, nor his wants. Rak la Hashem levade. Everything is only for Hashem. Like the pasuk says that who is there for me in the heaven, and with you I don't want to be in the world. In other words, I don't want your revelations, your godly revelations. I don't want up there in the heavens or down here in the world. What I want is you, Hashem. I want nothing, just you. Call it shady ulvavi. My flesh and my heart long for you. Ad shenase liboy leiv toyer legamre, to such an extent that his heart becomes totally pure. But Shaw, at least at that time, al kol panim b'v'chinas bitul hayesh l'ayna ve'leki be'emes lamitoy, that his heart, his ego is nullified to godly spirituality in absolute truth. Mipnei sheshoyre olav bechinas eira lekida malchus ba'olamais kemoshe meir l'mayla b'malochim b'lyonim kshe b'teilim b'mtzius, because at that moment there is dwelling on him the godly light of malchus in the worlds, just like it shines up above in the with the angel, the supernal angels who are totally self-abnegated out of existence to them. What? 5 minutes?
7 minutes.
So okay. V'zeu mamish kedimyon apsilo. This is mamish like this analogy of the wick. Shedilekis b'shalheves eish, which is lit with the flame of fire, hanidlak ba, that is ignited on it, shenepeches limhus eish, that it becomes transformed to be the substance of fire, the oil and light. Kach nepach haguf, so too your body, shehu eish v'choy mativi, shel tai v'ro'o atzmo, which is a flame and a natural flame and warmth of lusts, of bad lusts itself, that becomes transformed the limahus hachuko helikis to be to a substance of longing, a godly longing, shenikra rishpe eish shal heves yudke dineshamo helikis, which is called the flames of fire, the flame of God, of the godly soul. That he, meaning that he's going to be only thing he wants is Hashem. With all your heart, with both your good inclination and your evil inclination. That even the evil inclination that is in the left side of his heart, Hashem, will love Hashem, with this passion and excitement of flaming fire, of godly fire, mamish. And as we see, that there is godly excitement, mamish, in a physical heart. As Pasuk says, my heart and my flesh sing. The only problem is that the way that we sometimes do see that, however, it doesn't last very long. Why? The reason it doesn't last very long is because the oil of koyach ma, of chachma, of getting yourself out of the way, doesn't it isn't getting pulled into the wick. Umavur l'maylo, Shezeu Nikra Nahera Ukmo. And we explained earlier that this is the dark radiance. Eish HaShocher, the black or dark flame, Hasoyre Pumakala Lepsila Ma'at Ma'at, which burns and consumes the wick a bit at a time. Kach oiro eliki shebehispilus haneshama me'asoga de memala kol min hanal. So too, the godly light that is with the excitement of the soul from this meditation of how God in is internal light is internalized into the worlds. That burns and consumes the natural heart, to transform it to the light of holiness. Is similarly also above in Malchus of Atzilus, as it gets enclosed into the worlds. That's also like the soul gets enclosed in the body. V'nikra nishmas kol chai. And that's called nishmas kol chai, which we say Shabbos morning and also in the Haggadah. Shenikra mamale kol almin. That's called the internalized or permeating light that fills all worlds. Nikra gam ke nehera ukma kanal. That is also the dark radiance. Lefisha mahapich liyas bitula yesh la'ayin, because it transforms that there should be a subjugation, a nullification of the ego of the self to that which is nothing or spiritual. Bekola oilamois, in all worlds, ad gam ha'ayin sorim denoigo de asiya, even to such an extent that even the 70 ministering angels uh, of Noiga. So here this is here's 158. Okay. There is a 70 angels, but I never heard of them referred to as Noiga before. Um, so basically the heavens, the earth, the cattle, beasts, and fowl that are tahor are influenced by the klipas Noiga, but the impure animals and the souls of the non-Jews are influenced by the other klipas. Um, anyway, so there's more on this in note 158. I don't want to spend time on it now, though. Shagam Haim Betelim, that they too become nullified v'nichlolim belikim chaim b'shira, and included in the God of life through song. Huh? What?
We have a minute left.
Huh?
Minute left here. I think it's a good time to.
Okay. What did you say?
We have a minute left
A
here.
minute. Okay. K'meisha kasuv molach elokim al goyim, as it's written, God ruled over the nations. Uksiv, hallelujah, Hashem kol goyim. Praise God, you all the nations. V'kein havu Hashem mishpachei samim. Give praise to Hashem, families of the nations. Ukahai gavna rabbis miksuvim, and many such examples in the psukim. Kimo yiru me Hashem kol haaretz. The whole world fear Hashem. Hariul Hashem kol haaretz.
Shout out.
Let all the earth sing in jubilation to Hashem. This is just like this on a global scale. This is just like what we're talking about, the transformation of a person's seven negative emotions